Hey guys, it's Tony, back about fall maintenance tips. Today we're going to talk to Mark Segars from Rain on Demand about proper irrigation winterization. Let's take a listen. So here with Mark Segars today of Rain on Demand. Mark, thanks for coming out. We're here to learn a little bit more about proper winterization of the irrigation system. And as we know, many homeowners have the thought that they can do it themselves, and I want to really showcase why it's important to have a professional in your wheelhouse for not only the winterization but also the maintenance of your system.
Well, we want to make sure that everything's done properly, that everything is winterized properly so there's no freeze damage, and which becomes expensive to repair in the spring. We want to, most importantly, protect the backflow preventer on the back of the house or wherever that's located to make sure that that doesn't freeze and split. And then we want to protect the valves in the ground and the heads, make sure the pipes don't split so we don't have any leaks. I use a larger compressor here, a lot of volume of air so we can clear the lines thoroughly, get everything properly dried out without damaging any of the heads in the process.
Right.
And we move through the system that way. We'll get you everything cleared out so you're good to go in the spring. We'll come back in the spring, start everything, make sure everything's aimed the right way, adjusted right, make sure there's no damage from plows or snow removal. Make sure the programming is appropriate for whether your town has water restrictions or proper for the areas that are being watered. And just make sure everything's working efficiently as possible to use the water in an effective manner as opposed to just wasting water to make our lawns green.
Right. Now tell me, I assume for winterizing you need access to the controller. How does that work? Do you have access or?
In most cases, we need access to the water shutoff valve in the basement. That's just for the irrigation system alone, not the whole house main, just the water for the irrigation. We shut off the water at the valve in the basement, or sometimes it's a shallow well pump or other things like that. But generally it's the water supply, the point of connection, we call it. We shut it off there. And then yes, we would need access to the controller to be sure that we've cleared every valve. In some instances, in some houses, we know where every valve is in the ground, and we can manually open the valves and clear the zones that way. But we do like, if possible, to have access to the controller. That way we're thorough and sure that we've cleared every zone.
Nice. And there are some controllers that are now Wi-Fi controlled?
Yeah, there are many that we can either use our cell phone or our laptop to control remotely, which does save us in service season. It saves us a call to say, hey, do you need an adjustment to a time or a zone because I want more water here, or I want to run extra programs for this particular area I seeded. Saves us a trip from the house. We can just do that remotely. And but they also bring in, they're called smart controllers now. They bring in information.
What isn't smart nowadays?
Well,
right?
That's where everything's going. And we're some towns are actually mandating that all new installs be installed with smart controllers to save water. They are working on ways to regulate water usage, and this is one way to do it. A smart controller will save money because it will react to predicted weather and will stop watering when it needs to stop watering.
Now for a winterization, how long does that typically take you to go through a system, let's say an average 10, 12 zone system?
Yeah, the average system, we have it fully winterized in under half an hour.
So not much time.
It's not much time with the large compressor. It's a large volume of air, so we can move a lot of air quickly and get the zones cleared out relatively quickly and efficiently. The smaller compressors that you may have at home in your garage will do it, but you're going to run that compressor for an awful long time. You're going to be driving air through those heads, running them dry, and affecting the gears in the heads.
Right.
And it just doesn't move enough volume to move those low pockets that may be in the pipes. That air may just go right over it. A large volume of air that this can produce will clear all the zones, even larger zone lines, commercial size.
Right. Let alone preventing in the spring when you air it back down and you put the water back in, you start opening it up, and guess what happens? You find out that you're using a lot more water because something split, cracked,
there's a leak somewhere,
and it's leaking underground, and you don't know it until.
It's a time and materials. It's a labor-intensive industry.
Want to take us through what the process of
Sure.
looking what it looks like?
At this particular property, we've already gone in the house. We've already turned off the valve to shut the water off at the point of connection. I've got my compressor connected now. We can start at the compressor, start going through the zones, and push the water out and get it winterized.
Awesome.
the backflow preventer at this particular property. It's a little high here because to code it has to be 12 inches above the highest head in the property. And here we are in the backyard, we had a little bit of a slope. If there was a major slope here, we use what they call a double check valve, which is a different type of preventer. This one's fine for this application. It's just, as long as I can still reach it, it works fine. We've already connected, the client had a garden hose already connected. It's a good, strong, rugged hose that we can blow air through, so it'll be fine. That's what we've connected to. Spigot's open. We can now go back to the compressor, get the air pressure flowing, and get a zone cleared out.
Awesome.
Zone 1 is going to be cleared. Nope, gonna be the driveway.